It's a windy day, but it's sunny and warm. It's almost the start of spring and I look a mess because I've been out gardening, and I thought while I was out here I would give you guys an updated scent garden tour because it's been over a year. Hi, welcome back to the Aromatic Artisan. I'm Shannon the perfumer here, and I grow flowers and plant life to extract their scent to use in my perfumes. I also have two young girls that constantly distract me from doing what I need to do. Alright, I'll do a quick bounce and then I'm going to go film my garden, okay?
Okay, Mummy.
Alright, let's do some bouncing. Oh, okay, whoops.
Uh-oh, jumpy. We've had it like it. Have we had it since we were one?
This used to be your brother's trampoline.
Have we had it since we were one?
Since before then. Since before you were born.
What?
Mm.
But did we start bouncing on it when we were 2 or 1? Uh-oh. Look, Mummy. Stop bouncing. Stop bouncing.
What have we got? Oh, yes, that's the bit that broke off. It's getting quite old, this trampoline.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
This was your brother's trampoline when he was, I think he got it when he was 10 and 15. I think Zach was 15.
Where were we?
Now, as a scent gardener, I'm actually a really bad gardener. I weeded this hyacinth patch yesterday because the weeds were so high that you couldn't even see that the hyacinth had started growing. And I did exactly the same thing last year. So I really need to make a note in my planner where I plan everything except when things start flowering, that I need to weed this garden before they flower. So these are my hyacinths. This is the 3rd year that they've been flowering. They're looking a bit wilted today. I've just watered them and I'm going to cover them in a fresh layer of mulch. I think they're a bit wilted simply because they'd not actually seen sun before yesterday. So, and it's a very beautiful sunny day today. So I've given them a good water. I'm not using these for extraction this year. I'm just going to let them flower, let the bees have them. And just over here, I've got screaming children and some of my first daffodils. These are my paper whites, and just here I've got early cheers that haven't started flowering yet, that haven't opened yet. I will be using these ones this year. In amongst this mess, I'm not going to bother weeding this one just yet because these are my belladonna, my amaryllis belladonnas. They're commonly known as naked ladies, and they're a summer flowering plant or bulb. So these weeds will die off before they need to flower. And in amongst this mess, there is actually plants in here. I am a really bad gardener. I've said that. I will say it again. I'm a really bad gardener. I need to get in and weed these. Now that the weather's starting to warm up, it's going to be a lot easier. So we've got here, I've got 2 of these. I've never grown these. I've never even seen these. So I don't know how long they take to grow and mature and how long before they flower. But I've got one in here as well. This is a raspberry jam wattle. It's an Australian native and it's classed as bush tucker, so you can actually eat, I think, the berries, but the flowers smell like raspberry jam. So I'm really looking forward to those ones flowering and extracting those. Over here we've got some jonquils that are just random ones from years ago, from way before I was here. This one's a grevillea. It smells like melted butter. It's gross. This one, now this will be flowering soon. That's really cute. It's not scented. I just put this in for pretty. It's I don't know how to pronounce that. It's an Australian native and the flowers are gorgeous. I planted this just before our wedding last year to have some nice pretty flowers in the background because we got married right at this point here, just here. I don't know what these are. They just flower. In here under there I've got some tuberose bulbs. I planted those last year. They didn't flower over summer. Hopefully they will this year, but if they don't, I know they're in there. They'll be fine. Right here, now these ones are looking dismal. It took me a while to put these in the ground because I didn't know where I was going to put them, and I just ended up sticking them here. They are still alive, but we've got some growth coming out the bottom there, so hopefully these ones will survive. It is a chocolate scented flower, and it smells like chocolate mousse. So I'm really looking forward to those flowering profusely eventually if they don't die, and extracting their chocolate scented deliciousness. I planted this one here. We've got Jasmine grandifloria. Polyanthum actually. This one's taking off. So hopefully this will just fill this whole fence here. Beautiful. We've got some buds here, so they're going to be flowering soon, which is awesome. I've got some more tuberose bulbs in there somewhere, and again, I don't know what that is, but you know, it's plants, so I'll just leave it. We've got a Philotheca here, which is a wax flower. This one is Winter Rouge. This one has a beautiful sort of a lemony citrusy scent, and I've not extracted these before. But what I'm going to think about doing is I'm going to enfleurage the flowers and tincture these leaves. I better get to it if I'm going to enfleurage these, because as you can tell, they're flowering a lot, but there's lots of little buds here that haven't opened up yet, so there's plenty left to do there. Over here I've got, in my last video, I'll link my scent garden playlist at the end of this video. This one is a Kunzia. I'd only just planted that, I think, in my last video. It's quite small, so it's been here for a while. Apparently this actually grows to be quite a large bush, so it's probably in the wrong spot. I hope you can see it. It's a bit difficult to see. It could be in the wrong spot, but look, if it works out that it's just going to end up being too big, maybe I can cut it back, or I can move it perhaps. And then here we've got some pretty flowers that I planted for the wedding over this side. Now, I'm so excited about this right here. This here is, see, look at these little buds here, little flower buds. This is an Aegean, I think that's how you pronounce it, I'm not 100% sure, but this is a wallflower. We used to have this over by the house, but Spencer's dad dug it up because he thought it was a weed. I planted these from seed, my very first, from seed, and they're finally flowering. I reckon I planted these nearly 3 years ago, and I thought that they had died because I'm not a very good gardener. But they haven't, and they're flowering this year. I'm so excited because I can't wait to see what they smell like. And, you know, because I grew them from seed. How cool is that? Then we've pretty much got the same on this side as that side. We've got the Winter Rouge again. Here's some more of my seeds. Only a couple of them survived over this side. Then we've got the Jasmine again and some jonquils that have finished flowering. Over here, this is like my pride and joy. Let's step back and give us a good look at that one. This is my brown Baronia. In my last video, I mentioned that I have had 6 Baronia plants and only 1 has survived. Well, now, so this is the only one that has survived. I do have another one I'll show you in a minute. I have now had 9 Baronia plants and only 2 have survived. And this one is an original. This is one of the very first ones that I planted. I think I planted one there, and I've planted a heap of them down there, and they just keep dying over there, so I'm not bothering over there anymore. And now let's give you a close-up look at these. All these tiny little flower buds. They're tiny flowers, and they're very time consuming to pick them all off gently to extract these. I normally tincture them. This year I'm going to try enfleuraging them. and see what result that brings. Over this side, I've got my lavender and rose garden. Obviously, it's winter. It's just the very last few days of winter, so the roses aren't doing much. I also, again, I'm a terrible gardener, and I pruned them back way too late. I always do. This one is my Henri Matisse, and it's a beautiful flower, but it turns out it doesn't have any scent. Now, I'm pretty impressed with some of these lavender bushes that I have here. Most of them are actually, I dug up from my brother's place and just replanted them. Some of them died. This one I thought was dead, and it was about a quarter of the size of it as it is now. So that one's getting quite nice and bushy. I'm pretty sure that one's dead because it hasn't grown at all. So I might have to rip that out. I've got another one in a pot that I can replace that with. This one was grown from cutting from a lady that I know in town. I might need some water actually. They're looking a little bit wilted. This one here, this little one, that just sprouted all on its own. So I didn't plant that one. And this one I got from my brother's. And this one I got from my brother's. But this little one here, and this little one, and all of these little ones here have all just sprouted on their own. And I'm just going to leave them to it. They can just take over this area because, you know, lavender. This rose didn't do very well last year. I think I got maybe 2 or 3 roses from it, and they were misshapen and didn't smell and whatnot. I'm hoping that this year it does better because it's called the Father's Love, I think. Yep, Father's Love, and it's a beautiful smelling rose. So hopefully, I think I pruned it back too far last year, and it's just taken a while to come back. So by the looks of these leaves, it's going to be doing all right this year. Fingers crossed. We also need to mow. Spencer's not a very good gardener either. Okay, over here we have got this one just here is a lemon tree from my grandfather's place. It wasn't doing very well at his house, so my auntie dug it up and popped it in a pot. Citrus don't tend to grow very well out here. Spencer has tried and it's never worked. So I'm actually going to keep this one in the pot. I'm going to change it and put it into a bigger pot. It does seem to be doing okay where it is, but yeah, we're just going to keep it in a pot so I can move it about wherever it needs to go. I'm not going to be growing this for the lemons. I'll be growing it for the flowers, to extract the flowers. Maybe I'll leave some of them, leave some lemons so that I can actually extract the peel, because that's where you get lemon essential oil from the peel, not from the actual lemons. But lemon blossoms are delicious. They're so beautiful. All right, moving on.
What about my garden?
Oh, Samira's garden. Samira's got a little, hang on, we'll hop out of the sun. Oh, I'm the one that's in the sun. Samira's fairy garden. She's got some little houses there. And we've got her dwarf carnations that flower profusely. We've got some little violas in here as well, and they just flower whenever.
And there used to be like a purple flower right here, and it got little bits of yellow inside.
Yes, that's the viola. And that one is your oriental lily. We can probably take that one out. Yep, there we go. So that one will grow again in the summer. Okay, moving on. Here is my other Baronia that has survived so far, though something happened to it just a few days ago and this got broken off. I think it happened during the night. It was probably a kangaroo jumped on it. I'm not 100% sure. So that was looking nice and bushy. You can see that. And now it's not nice and bushy, but at least most of it's still there and it will grow on. I've got my little gem magnolia here. These flowered again later in the season. I don't know why, but I've noticed some of them in town have been doing the same thing and then just didn't open. So I don't know what the go is with that. I've got some in my last video that was over a year ago. I talked about my port wine magnolias. Well, they're still in the pots, and so are my passion flower, and so is my native gardenia. We've got a rose bush here that really didn't flower. I think I got 3 roses out of it last season. This is angel face, and it smells amazing. I don't know what I did. Perhaps I cut it back too far, or I'm not sure, but we'll see how that goes this year. Got some rosemary that needs to go in the ground. I just don't know where to put that yet. Spencer bought me a couple of rosemaries because we cleared out the front garden, and it had a big, massive rosemary bush in it, and now it doesn't. So he brought me those to replace them. I've just got to put them in the ground somewhere. Now this one here, this is a Gardenia Magnifica, and I was going to rip this out because I thought it died, and I just didn't get around to ripping it out, and it come back, and it's actually going better than my other Gardenia varieties. Over here we've got, now this one. So this I bought, it's supposed to be Tess of the D'Urbervilles, a David Austin fragrant rose, and it does look like that. It's a climbing rose, so it's going through the fence there. When it flowers, it does look like a Tess, but it has no scent whatsoever, and it's supposed to be a fragrant rose. So it's only flowered one season. I bought it last year as I think I bought this as bare rooted, so we'll see what it brings this year, whether it's scented or not. I'm not going to bother about removing it because it's a beautiful, beautiful rose, and it's nice to have flowers in the garden that I don't just pick as soon as they open. We've got, that one's a lavender sweetheart that I also think has died because I never put it in the ground. I need to plant things, but like I've said quite a few times in this video, I'm a terrible gardener. We will water them in a minute. Something else that also needs to be put in the ground is my Buddleia salvifolia. This one smells like honey. It's delicious. It's so good. They grow quite large, so I'm just not sure where to put them yet. I have put one in this garden a little further down. You'll see it in a moment, and I think I'm probably going to have to remove it or just keep it really cut back. I've got Gardenia radicans just here. These ones, I had 2 of these. I pulled one out because it just died. I don't know. These ones, gardenias do better in humid weather, and we're very dry here, so I'm not sure. One day we'll have like a hot house or at least a fernery type thing that I could put something like this in. Amy Yoshiba, it's another gardenia. This is a big one, except mine have never flowered. This has been here for a few years, never flowered. A random lavender that just popped up, and I'm just going to leave it there because it's growing. This one is my children's rose. This one grows so well, and the scent in this rose is just beautiful, and they're like really, really big blooms. They're just gorgeous. The Buddleia that I put in the ground, it's doing really well since I put it in the ground. I just randomly thought, right, I'm putting it here, that's where it's going. In my last video, again, we had the Love Potion roses, so they're right here. I'm probably choosing the wrong time of year to update you guys on my scent garden because everything is fairly dormant, except for what you're about to see, which is the carnations. They were only tiny, like they were last video, they were not even this size, and they've taken over, well, not taken over, but they've gotten quite large. I'm going to probably dig them up and separate them and then replant them, especially this pink one here. I'll take that one out completely so that the other ones can fill that space, and I might put some over there just to fill it up a little bit more. My native frangipani. This one is doing so well. It's almost as tall as me now. It's up to my shoulder height. And so much new growth. It'll be flowering next month. And it flowered last year. I didn't extract any of it. There was only a few. It was only sort of this height last year. There should be quite a few flowers this year. So I will set them on a tray and see how we go with those. But I can't wait for that one to flower again. It's beautiful. Tiny little flowers, not related to frangipani at all. It's only named frangipani because it looks similar to them, and the scent is strongest at night. And lastly, we have another bulb garden. When I showed this in my last video, I think it was the last video, it was just a big patch of dirt because I had just planted. So these are my early cheers. They've just started flowering. I will have a video on, I've tinctured some of these, so I'll put that video up probably during the week. I've also got some jonquils in here that I only planted them, when did I plant them? I don't think they flowered last year, and they're not flowering this year either. But what I'm really excited about, a couple of years ago, I planted some Belladonna amaryllis seeds, and they grow. They are growing, and there's heaps of them. I'm not even sure because they're all in the ground and they're not 100% growing. I'm not sure where they even are. I can see some just there, and there's some just here. So there's a row of them there. But I can't wait for these will take years before they'll flower. So they need to be, the leaves need to be sort of up here. Oh, you can't even see my hand, up here before they grow. So these are my most favourite, I think they would be my favourite flowers. I love the scent of the early cheers. They're just beautiful. They're so lovely. And while we're here, I want to show you the girls' cubby. It's so cool. We got given to us 2 of these gigantic wooden spools, and Spencer has put one on top of the other. It's not finished yet. We only just started doing it, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago or last week or something like that. These giant spools, put one on top of the other. And the plan is, we've got a little tea party going on here. We've got this door here. The plan is we're going to put in a little, oh, hello Samira. Going to put a ladder in over here and a little hole up there so that they can get up to the 2nd story. And then Spencer's also going to build a little railing around the 2nd story so that they have a balcony. How cool is that?
What is a balcony?
You'll see it when it's built, sweetheart. And then we might just put some sort of a garden around it, because why not? I'll see if I can not kill it. And yeah, I just love this. We talked about painting it, but why would you? I mean, look at it. Look at that. It's so rustic and so different, and just set amongst the trees like that, it just suits the farm, I reckon.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. That took a little bit longer than I had anticipated, but there's an updated tour of my scent garden and what I grow to extract for perfumery. Hopefully soon I will have up on the website some perfumes that I have created by growing and extracting the scent. It's quite a long process and can take a while, and I do have some ready. So there is actually one already up. I will link it below if you'd like to have a look at that. But hopefully soon there will be some more. I do have a few, like I said, I've got a few ready to go. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed my scent garden tour, and I hope to see you again in my next video. The sun is in my eyes. That's the only problem with sunny days. It's bright, and we've had not many sunny days over winter, and I'm not used to it. So anyway, make sure you like this video and subscribe if you don't want to miss any of my other videos. Yep, that's about it. Alright, thanks for watching. Bye.